On this video of WoW deck building, we got a Hunter Horde deck. Most of the decks you see I build are going to be mid-range decks. And we're going to start with our hero. We got Azarok Wolf's Blood. And he's our hero because we want an orc survival hero. His flip's not really good, so that's the only drawback from him. But he is the orc in survival, which is what we need. And let's move on to our allies. We got Kazamon first off, which is why we went Orc. He's just a really good ally, and he combos with one of the main cards that I built this deck for, which is Envoy of Mortality. When you strike with this weapon, your hero has long range this combat, and when your hero deals damage with this weapon, it also deals that much range damage to a target friendly hero or ally. So when we strike with this weapon, we just hit Kazamon with it, and he takes no damage at all. And that gives us a 4 striking weapon that only costs 2 to play and only costs 1 to strike with, which is really good. I feel this card's going to actually make Hunter a lot more playable than it used to be. Our next ally is Dundee, and he's a 3 cost 4/4, which is nice. So he's also another card that combos with Envoy of Mortality. He's also a 3 cost 4/4, so he can trade into Miriam and a lot of stuff. He's just a really good ally in general. Let's go on to our next guy. We got Blood Soul, standard rush guy. I chose him over Offender Gora for a card you will see later. But for now, we're just going to leave him as Blood Soul. Next is Broderick. He's probably the best aggressive ally in the game for Horde and Alliance. And he's in here just because he's really good. After Broderick, we got Marksman Grouse. Marksman Grouse is just another ally who's really good. You can use it to inspire your quest and complete them for cheaper, or leave resources open to play an instant ability. So we got her in here because she's good. After Marksman Grouse, we got Buzz. Buzz is in here because Hunter lacks good equipment removal, which they sort of have now in the form of Buzz. And he can create a lot of 2 and 3 for 1s against equipment decks and decks that are mixed with equipments and allies. So he can either come out to be a really nasty, or sometimes he just doesn't cut it, because if they're not playing equipment, a 5 cost 5/5 is not that great. After Buzz, we got Chromarius, Blackfist, and he's in here because Hunter needs ability removal, and they don't have it in the form of any good abilities, so we put him in here so we have an answer to abilities that would just shut out our deck. I don't like him that much, but he's the only choice Hunter has at this point, so that's why he's in here. After Chromarius and the rest of the allies, we move on to our abilities. We got Thrill of the Hunt. This is actually probably one of Hunter's better cards. It costs 4, so it avoids Fizzle. And when you kill something with it, like Barov or Kazamon, just anything that's targetable and big, it gives you a huge tempo swing because you get to ready that many resources, and then also you can play a guy afterwards. So Thrill of the Hunt is one of the better cards. We also got Raptor Strike. This is to slow down aggressive decks. It's not an amazing card, but it's not bad. It does get the job done most of the time. And it deals 3 damage for the cost of 1. The downfall is you have to keep a resource ready, but with Marksman Grouse, you inspire a quest and you'll have one open to play Raptor Strike. So we got that in here for that purpose. And then the last card we got for abilities is Survival Instincts. And what it does is prevent the first 4 damage that would be dealt to your hero each turn. Now, we have this in here not only because it slows down other aggressive decks, but also because it combos with Envoy of Mortality, just like Kazumon and Dundee. We can deal the 4 damage that it would deal to our hero, and Survival Instincts would prevent the damage that it would deal to us unless we've been dealt other damage. So that's it for the abilities and allies and our only weapon, which is the Envoy of Mortality. And now we're going to move on to quest and locations. So I want to talk about the location a little bit. We got Ring of Trials, and it works very well in this deck because when you have out Kazumon or Dundee, you can start killing stuff without losing guys or getting any damage on your guys. And the best part is this card doesn't target, so if they have out like a single Barov or Miriam, they're forced to choose that ally, and you can just trade with it with your Kazumon or Dundee and take it out without losing anything at all. I've actually come to like this card a lot, and I think it's going to start to see some more play than it has before. Resource is a donation of silk. It's in here because it filters out our ally removal cards against like control decks and solo decks where we don't need them, and it also allows us to discard Buzz, so we can destroy a weapon for the price of 2, which is what it costs to complete a donation of silk. And also with Broderick in here, pitching him kind of makes it like you didn't have to discard a card because he gives your hero Assault 1 when he's in the graveyard. So if you pitch Broderick and Buzz, and you destroy a weapon with Buzz, a donation of silk pretty much just netted you 2 cards for the cost of 2. We got Orders from Lady Vosh, best quest for aggressive decks and mid-range decks, I think, and it's just really good. After Orders from Lady Vosh is Dark Horizon. This card was iffy because I got Bloodsoul and Kazumon Steelskin as the only shadow damage. Kazumon usually sticks around and Bloodsoul's there sometimes, so most of the time you'll get the 2, but not always. I really prefer there was a better quest, but I have trouble actually finding good quests for mid-range decks, and I'm trying to actually find a better one at this point, but I haven't had much luck. And I don't like quests that are on your turn only to complete, and I don't want to pay 4 resources to draw 2 cards only, so there's going to be no Rise and Be Recognized or anything like that. After quest and locations, let's go to our sideboard. We got 3 Monk and Blackfist. This is for decks that use excessive equipment. Sometimes Buzz isn't enough, and with Munkin in your sideboard, you'll have enough to take out armor and all that other good stuff. Since you only have 1 weapon in here, you should be able to get it off against those heavy equipment decks and solo decks. After Munkin, we got Scumbago, and he's basically in here for Silver Moon City and all that other like random, never know what they have that could hurt you, but those random quests and locations that could be problems. And versus slower decks, you just take out ally removal and put him in, and he turns out to be a lot better than Raptor Strike versus something like Varanus and stuff like that. And after Scumbago, our last sideboard card is Lightning Reflexes. This is in the sideboard because it slows down the aggressive decks that are just too fast for you to deal with. So something like Kuzar, you would put this in verse, and you just sit with your survival instincts, and hopefully you can get out Kazumon and Dundee and stabilize with the Ring of Trials and stuff. So that's it for the deck. We got 4 of every card in the main deck because I feel those are the best cards to get the job done. Their Hunter doesn't have too many options. I've thought about snipe and stuff, but every turn you're tapping out pretty much to play one of your guys, and hopefully you can curve out pretty well. So that's why there's no snipe. And in the sideboard, we're limited to 10 cards, so that's why we only got 3 Munkin and 3 Lightning Reflexes. So that'll be it for this episode of deck building.